You know, when you're watching a football match and the commentators start throwing around all those tactical buzzwords, you hear things like patterns of play, philosophies, team systems, and it can make the game feel way more complicated than it needs to be. But what if I told you there's a key to unlock all of it? It really does feel like a secret language sometimes, right? Like there's this hidden code that only the pros understand. Well, the truth is, there's a single blueprint that makes sense of it all. It's a master plan that tells a team exactly what to do in every single moment of a match. And that blueprint is called the game model. The best way to think about it is like a team's operating system. It's so much more than just a formation, like a 4-4-2. This is a deep, ingrained plan that tells every single player what to do, where to be, and how to react, no matter what's happening with the ball. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down that blueprint piece by piece. First, we'll look at the coach's overall plan. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how teams attack and how they defend. After that, we'll dive into those wild, chaotic moments called transitions, before we finally put all the puzzle pieces together. At its core, the game model really just organizes the chaos around two main states of play. What your team does in possession, when you have the ball, and what you do out of possession, when you don't. These two states and the crazy moments in between are the backbone of every team's strategy. Let's start with what happens when you've got the ball. So, when a team has the ball, their actions aren't just random, not at all. It's actually a structured journey, and it's broken down into three distinct phases, all based on one simple thing: where the ball is on the field. It's a journey from your goal to theirs. I want you to think of an attack like a three-act play. Act 1 is the build-up phase, where you're setting the scene deep in your own half. Act 2 is the progression phase, moving through midfield, building the tension. And that all leads to the big finale, Act 3, the finishing phase, the climax, right in the opponent's territory. So, the build-up. This starts way back near your own goal, and you've really only got one job: get past the opponent's first line of attackers without losing the ball. The secret sauce here? It's just simple math. The goal is to always have one more player than they have attackers. That extra passing option, combined with quick 1 or 2 touch passing, is how you escape. All right, so you've beaten that first press. Now you're in the middle of the pitch, staring at a defensive wall. How do you break through? You stretch them. You use your wingers to pull the defense wide, and you have your forwards make runs in behind to pull them long. And here's the key. A lot of those runs aren't even meant to get the ball. They're just decoys, designed to create a tiny bit of space for someone else. And that brings us to the final third, the finishing phase. The goal here is obvious, right? Create a chance and score. You'll see the best teams flood the opponent's box with 5, maybe even 6 players to just cause absolute chaos. But here's the really brilliant part. Look at what's happening behind that attack. There's always this balanced group of 2 or 3 players hanging back. Why? Because the second they lose the ball, they're already in a defensive shape, ready to stop a counterattack. It's genius. Okay, so for every single attacking action we just talked about, there's an equal and opposite reaction on the other side of the ball. For every attacking phase, there is a defensive phase that's basically its mirror image. So while one team is in their build-up phase, trying to pass it out from the back, what's the other team doing? They're not just standing around, that's for sure. They're organizing into what's called a high block. It's a direct counter, happening in the exact same part of the pitch, and it's designed to kill the attack before it can even get started. The whole point of the high block is to suffocate the other team, to give them no time and no space. Players press like crazy, but it's organized. They use what's called a cover shadow, basically using their body to block the passing lane to the player behind them. It's like you're defending 2 players at once. You combine that with a high defensive line to shrink the field, and you're just trying to force a mistake. Now, if the other team manages to break that high press and get into their progression phase, the defending team has to drop back and quickly reorganize into a mid-block. So now the game has changed. The priority isn't about winning the ball high up the field anymore. Now it's all about controlling space. The team gets really compact, shuffling from side to side like a single unit. The goal is to make it impossible to pass through the lines of defense and midfield. Often they'll try to use the sideline as an extra defender to trap the play in less dangerous parts of the field. And finally, if the attacking team gets into the final third, their finishing phase, the defending team drops all the way back into a deep, compact low block. This is basically emergency defending. You've probably heard it called parking the bus. The whole team gets incredibly compact, with almost no space between players. The number one priority is to form a human shield right in front of the goal, protect the most dangerous areas, block every shot, and just do whatever it takes to stop them from getting a good look at goal. So, we've got these two organized states, attack and defense. But you know what? Some of the most important moments in a match happen in that split second of chaos right between them. These are the transitions, those frantic moments when the ball is won or lost. And they happen so fast. We're talking about a window of maybe 5 to 8 seconds. That's it. What a team does in those first few seconds after the ball changes hands can decide the entire outcome of that play. This is where games are won and lost. The instant a team loses the ball, every player has to make a split-second decision. It's like a computer running a program. If we're compact and we've got players swarming the ball, okay, option A, counterpress. We go win it back immediately. But if we're all stretched out and vulnerable, nope. Option B, delay and recover. Forget winning the ball. Just slow them down and let everyone sprint back into shape. And it's the exact same logic when you win the ball back. Is the other team a complete mess with huge gaps everywhere? Go, launch a lightning-fast counterattack and punish them. Or are they already organized and back in their defensive shape? Okay, then the smart move is to just be patient. Secure the ball, keep possession, and start your own organized attack from the beginning. So we've got the flow of open play figured out. Attack, defense, and those crazy transitions in between. But the game isn't always flowing, is it? There's one more critical part of the game model, a phase that people often forget about, but where so many matches are decided. And that, of course, is set pieces. I mean, free kicks, corners, even throw-ins. They might feel like a pause in the action, but for a coach, they're a golden opportunity. Every single set piece is a chance to run a pre-planned play, a little routine they've practiced over and over. And in a sport where the margins are so incredibly tight, being great at this fourth phase can be the difference between winning, losing, and drawing. And that's really the whole point here. The game model isn't just a list of separate instructions. It's a living, breathing system. The way you set up your attack in the final third determines how you're ready to defend a counterattack. The way you press high up the field is designed to create a specific kind of turnover. Everything is connected. It's all one single coherent strategy. And just like that, the game isn't a chaotic scramble anymore. It's a fascinating chess match playing out on the grass. So the next time you sit down to watch a match, don't just follow the ball. Look for the high block, watch for the trigger to counterpress. See if you can spot that balanced structure behind the attack. You have the coach's blueprint now. The only question is, what will you see?